dear virtual visitors of the World Around Summit 2021. I am Francis Kéré. I'm architect. I was born in Burkina Faso, and now I am working from Berlin, Germany, and from Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, doing projects in many places. I am delighted to have been asked to share what my studio is working on within the framework of architectures now, near, and next. So I will be speaking on the way I pull from communal living and democratic practices rooted in the west of Africa to shape the way I build and the typology I arrive at. And I will use a project that is shown to start construction and another one that has been completed not long ago as illustration. It has been my experience during my training and my work as architect that contemporary African architecture, broadly speaking, is often seen as being representative of an ideology or economical interests imported from the outside. This is especially true for post-colonial public structures, many of which are either mimicking socialist architecture. This is the case when a given country was part of the Soviet African relation during the decolonization process, or they follow Western models by mimicking mid-20th century Eurocentric architecture. To simply highlight the newly found independence, what cannot be found are buildings that reflect indigenous form of governance, democratic practices, or a material and climate responsible approach and local knowledge. Myself, I started out being led by material and local craftsmanship, So I built my very first building, a school, as a student with mud and using rebars to create a roof structure. I did this because mud is available in my village and rebars can be easily used by the locals to create structures. This was not to serve a political idea, but simply because I wanted to use what is most available and easy to be used by the local people. Since my earliest projects, I wanted the designs of the building beyond providing walls inside which the ABC, the alphabet, can be taught, that the building themselves be inspiring to the people. I am convinced that people that are inspired has a greater capacity to dream big and the power to push their dream to come true. Now, having built in this way, I have gained visibility, potentially also credibility, and now with my structure, we are being approached to design, erect a parliament building in Benin. And it is time to explore the second part of what is missing in contemporary architecture. That is the reflection of West African way of governance. When tasked with designing this public structure, my aim was to anchor the building within an indigenous form of democracy that exists long before colonial times and continue to be practiced in the villages and the countryside of the region. In the case of the National Assembly of Benin, it is the practice of meeting under a tree that guided our design. To come together, to sit and gather and discuss, to find consensus through conversations. The tree under which this happens are known as arbre à palabre. Literally, this translates to a tree under which people gather to speak. And in the shade of their canopies, summits are held and judgments are passed. There are both town hall and court. And furthermore, there can be classrooms, there can be also a temporary market, but there can be a temporary hospital where vaccination campaigns are held. And it was our wish to create a homage to them. A Parliament House building that took the tree as the blueprint for its shape, and its typology has since emerged. Located in Porto Novo, the political capital of Benin, the building will sit within a large public park, which is part of our design proposal. And this park is next to a historical botanical garden with lots of native trees and plants. In this setting, the National Assembly can be seen as the biggest tree of the forest, providing shade for the public. Very often, kapok trees and baobabs are being used as arbre à palabre. They have a very impressive roots that have their very own architectural language. They provide shapes against which the elders can lean or sit, and they also provide different compartments. And this particularity can be found in our design, as the trunk of the building is hollow and fit with benches to invite the public to gather in groups. While in the interior, this trunk forms a kind of canopy that gives the assembly hall an organic feel and is reminiscent of this gathering in the shade of an actual tree. Our wish was also to adapt the building to particularities of the climate. A double facade keeps the glass protected from the sun, and the central courtyard is imagined in a way that allows for the air to circulate and create a climate that is inviting to linger. On all aspects, the challenge was to translate the language and design genius of nature within such an enormous building and into a political realm that does have certain etiquettes and security requirements. This is just one example on how I am learning from the region where I grew up to inform my design and our architecture. West Africa, especially what is today Burkina Faso, Mali, north of Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria, have an amazing example of vernacular architecture. Over centuries, people have created the most beautiful and organic structures that are part of their surrounding, almost melting with it. Examples of these are mud mosques like the one of Djenné, the clusters of round huts that makes up communal living space in Burkina Faso, the detailed pattern of housing of the Kasena in Ghana and Burkina Faso, and the two-storied Tata Sumba in Togo and Benin. These are examples of architectural typology that was shaped by an intimate knowledge of climate conditions, expertise on available material, and it is informed by how communities are organized. This knowledge has been passed from grandmother and grandfather to parent and to children. In this way, architecture is not the job of a single professional, but a shared expertise. These can also be seen in something like the Tuguna. The Tuguna, like the Arbor à Palabre, is a gathering space, but this one is man-made. We wanted to learn from it, to celebrate it, and to spread it into the world. Tugunas are communal gathering huts of what is today Mali and Burkina Faso, especially in the part of the region known as Dogon country, where they can still be found in their original form, with slightly adapted version existing across West Africa. They are places of peace, of discourse, and of calm. And they achieve this through a structure that does not allow the individual entering it to stand. With this simple trick, they rid visitors of the ability to get physically aggressive towards one another. We wanted to learn from the Tuguna and to design the visitors' pavilion for the Pritzker-Prize Art Center in Montana. The Pritzker-Prize Art Center is an incredible place where very big sculptures are spread far across an impressive landscape, with our structure serving as the jumping off point and visitors' gathering place. Because it is quite an abstract translation in terms of form, we were much more guided by the design approach the West African builders of the Tuguna took in imagining a space that sets out to be conducive to a certain kind of dialogue and behavior. And we went a step further with this visitor pavilion. The visitor pavilion is called also Xylem. So together with the people who commissioned us, we wanted to create a sort of bond, not to let it be or to let it by relationship within a client and architect, but we wanted to create a strong exchange. Thanks to this incredible vision and generosity, Xylem is the symbolic patron saint of the secondary school we are completing in my hometown of Gandu this year. This, in turn, makes the continuation of my very first project, which was the primary school of Gandu. And so here too, everything is connected. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 years of my architectural structure has put me to a point today where an intricate web is emerging, one that connects the economic proofs, of the US with the democratic wisdom of pre-colonial West Africa, and in turn supports the people in an economically challenged position like Burkina Faso to learn, be inspired, and dream, and so build on knowledge that they have inherited with pride. In this way, my architecture has allowed me to reimagine who can benefit, how from who. When people as diverse as the actual president of Benin, Mr. Talon, and philanthropists like the maker of the Tipper-Rise Art Center, Kathy and Peter, commission contemporary architecture in the way I just described, then we are creating buildings that allow for dreams, that push outside the increasingly monolithic idea of what architecture and democracy needs to look like today. And maybe this way we can contribute to building a public sphere in Africa, and beyond that sits within the so-called Afro-futuristic imagination. Of course, these couple of minutes are not near enough to go deep into the points raised. I want to say thank you to the Guggenheim and especially to Beatrice Galilei for allowing me to share these threads of thought that is shaping my architecture now, near, and next. Thank you very much, and see you soon.